What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Atlanta United in Europe, and we are on the last match day of the season in our first year in the Premier League, and we got something on the line in this game. We are playing Arsenal, so it's a very difficult game. They're second in the table and are going for the championship this weekend on the final weekend of the season. But look at the table. We are 1 point away from a Europa League spot. We're 1 point behind Chelsea. Realistically, we need to gain 2 points on them because of the goal differential. You can see they're at plus 12, we're at -4. So we'll need to surpass them and not just tie them. So we're really 2 points back, but hey, we got a chance. We got it's possible, I guess, technically. We actually finished the season with a really tough schedule. We had some easy games, but these last two games we have Liverpool and Arsenal. So I've been kind of in contention, playing this off video here. But we got ourselves back into it. We had a really rough stretch in March where things were looking good. In January, last time we did this video, we were kind of in the middle of this stretch, and then things kind of fell apart on us, but we got it back at the end of the season somehow. I don't even know how, because I haven't even really felt that confident in a lot of the tactics we've been using, and we've had some injuries we've had to get through as well, but we put ourselves in contention, and then also, I didn't think we were going to have a shot, because most of the time when I've been down the stretch of this season, there's only been 2 Europa League spots available, and it wasn't until after this most recent game that this seventh slot got one. So I'm not sure exactly what happened with the competitions, whether it was Champions League or Europa League, going on in the game in this season. But somehow there was an extra spot opened up for us in the Premier League, and so we have a chance. So we're going to play this game and then finish the season up. So let's get right into it. Oh no, let's take a look at the team we want to use. This is kind of what we've been going with. Joseph Martinez is hurt. He injured his ankle, so he's not going to be available for us in this game. And this is kind of the team I've relied on. But you know what? Part of me wonders whether I need to go do something crazy, because I just played that formation against Liverpool, and it didn't really work. It didn't present Liverpool any challenges, and they beat us off the park. I would like to go to this, but I don't have Joseph, and I don't really have another natural striker I can use. So it's a tough one. I'm going to go use just this tried and true 4-2-3-1 that we've been using and see if it works out. This is basically our best team that we've used. Let's put Lukumi over on the left side since he's left-footed. Keaton Parks is actually slotted in really well for us this year. He's only on loan. We might be able to get him long-term. I'm not sure if I really want to do that, though. It all depends on his price. But I've actually been surprised with how well he's performed at this level. You can see his stats aren't that great, but he doesn't have any big weaknesses, so pretty nice. Diawara is slotted in. We picked him up in the January transfer window. If you guys saw the last episode, he's been really nice. He did have an injury, but since he's come back, he actually has really solidified the team a lot. And then Mykola Shaparenko actually has struggled this season quite a bit. He was our big signing coming into the season, but he did just score, not in the last game against Liverpool, but the one before that against Newcastle. Actually, we played against Miguel, and so I'm going to put him in for this game, and it looks like he enjoys big matches as well, so at least we have that going for us. And then I got to talk about, first of all, Barco. He's been great. I've been playing him as a right winger, and he's actually been fantastic. But the man kind of down the second half of the season has been Jaden Braff. This guy has been incredible for us. He hasn't actually performed as well when he's started matches. I've been bringing him in as a sub quite often, and he always seems to perform really well. But I actually just got a training report from him saying that he's picked up some personality traits, and he now has a resolute personality, as you can see right here, which is one of the best ones you can have in this game. You can see he's got the 16 determination now, which has gone way up. That just means he's going to fulfill a lot more of his potential. He's going to be a lot more consistent player. And as you can see, he's already really pacey. He's got some really good attributes. Some of these technical attributes still need to develop, but considering his age, the fact that he's got this personality and the heightened determination, I really think a lot of these are going to come through as long as we play him. And I have no problem playing with him, because every time we have, he's pretty much performed. Rafael Leao up top, we're going to go with him. Obviously, he's our main striker now. But I've kind of been going back and forth between him and Joseph down this second half of the season. Neither one has really been great, to be honest. I think they both went through a spell where they were really looking for goals. I think last time we checked in, Leao may have been on 12 goals last time we checked in on him, and he's only got one since. So He finds himself in good positions, so he actually passes the ball well. He seems to link up well with his teammates. He just can't seem to score the goals that are pretty much easy for him on the doorstep. So this is the team we're going to go with against Arsenal. All right, we've kicked off, and we'll see how this goes. Before we get this highlight, which does not look good for us already, with them having a throw in deep in our territory. Whoops. Here we go. We'll get the latest scores coming in from around the league. We need to keep an eye on Chelsea's match, and they're already up 1-0. So come on, Miguel. They're playing Newcastle. We need them to get a result for us. Let's see. We need win by 2. So if they draw and we win, then we would surpass Chelsea, and I think also Bournemouth. Hopefully. But it'll be tough. Arsenal's only lost 2 games all season long, so I'm not thinking it's really that much of a possibility, but who knows what will happen. And it would be kind of funny to knock Arsenal off and win the title for Man City if we can get a result against them. It'll be interesting to see how that one shapes up down the stretch here, too. There's Jaden Braff. Barco's I'm telling you, he's been good on this right side. Watch out for those crosses. Ooh, and if that is not just typical of what has happened to this whole second half, where Leao just cannot find the back of the net after some really nice service from Barco there. All right, another counterattack for us. Looks like we're getting some. Look at Braff just disposing of that fullback. I don't know who that was. Shaparenko scores. It's only his 3rd goal of the season for us, but it's his 2nd in the last 3 games. And what a big one that is. Oh my gosh, we have a lead. We have a lead against Arsenal. And it was all Braff. I mean, that run from him was beautiful. Wow. Okay. Did not expect us to be in this position here. And I'm already wondering how we can potentially change it. I've been bringing in Isaac Hayden, a guy we signed at the transfer window, right at the end of the transfer window. In fact, I don't even know if that was on the video that I did, the last video. Ooh, Barco just misses wide. I may have only done that in a stream, but I got Isaac Hayden from Newcastle, and he's been a guy I've been just dropping in as a defensive midfielder late in games to try to lock things down. Might do that if I can keep this lead, but that's a big if against a team like Arsenal. Been clearing our lines nicely, though. I'm telling a lot of these highlights have been looking good for us. We'll see. Ooh, Chelsea has a 2-0 lead. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, it looks like. Unbelievable. How cruel would that be if we lose out on Europa League by 1 point in our first year up in the Premier League? I'll tell you, we've hung in against big teams. Other than the last game against Liverpool where we got blown out 3-0, it's been there's Braff. Oh, man, he is just... I tell you, his attributes right now do not reflect the level of his play that he's giving us on the field. It's been fantastic. Other than the last game against Liverpool, we've actually held pretty tough against the top teams in the league. We almost got a draw against Man City. Kylian Mbappe scored a goal, the winner, in like the 88th minute against us. That was brutal. All right, got another highlight here. Looks like it's a good one for us. Keaton, Leao. That would have been a really good finish. To be fair to him, that wasn't really a great chance there. Now Arsenal's gonna have a go. Kluivert. Oh man. All right. And now we're going the other way. Wow, long highlight here. Braff to Leao. Was he onside? I think he was off. Is the linesman? Yep. Damn. That's the one thing with Braff. He gets in those spots a lot, and he just does not release that ball in time, that through ball to the striker. His passing, I think, is only a 9, so that is definitely an improvement area for him. And I'm not sure what his vision is either. That's probably one that holds him back in those positions as well. If he can fill out that last part of his game, he will really be a complete player. Well, it's not looking good for us in the Europa League. It looks like that dream is dead. Chelsea has a 3-0 lead over Newcastle, as we can see. But it would still be fun to just go out with a win here. So we're at the 64th minute. What change can we make here? I don't know if I need to make a change, to be perfectly honest. I might wait a little bit longer. I don't want to throw on a defensive midfielder yet. That would be too defensive. And considering I don't really have a backup striker anymore since Joseph is hurt, I'll just keep this. Oh, wow, Barco with a free kick from range. Oh man, what a beauty. Okay, the graphics, yeah, they leave a little bit to be desired. You got to use your imagination there. But what a hit from Barco, man. He's been great. We gave him a new contract this year. Had to appeal for a work permit for him, but we got it. And man, so happy we did because he's been one of our key players this second half. I've talked a lot about Braff, but I mean, Barco's been a guy who's been in the lineup every single game starting and just continues to put up numbers. I can't be disappointed, though, with an 8th place finish if this is how it ends for us this year. Especially with the win against Arsenal in the last game of the year. Oh, Shaparenko. His second of the game, a brace for him. Man, we are ending this thing in style. Arsenal's only lost 2 games this year, y'all. Like, this is insane. And it's not like they don't have anything to play for. They've got the championship on the line, and they are actively blowing it. In fact, I think we can put that in past tense at this point. They blew it. Arsenal coming down our right side. Oh, no. Okay. Nice save by Butland. He's been so consistent for us this year. What a great signing that was. I don't know how he became available or we got him. We didn't pay that much to get him. I know that. It wasn't like I was actually looking for a goalkeeper, but I think he just came available. And what a signing he's turned out to be. All right, well, now we're at the 77th minute. I think okay, well, let's let this highlight play out. Even if it's a goal for them, I'm going to put on a defensive midfielder now. It is time. Ooh, off the post. All right, Braff just had that taken off him. He might be out of gas. Let's put on Tito for him. Just put those fresh Tito legs on in the 77th minute, which every defense, just loves to see that come on. And then, instead of Hayden, we'll throw on Jonathan Gonzalez. So Shaparenko, you've had a great game. But we'll just mess things up in midfield, make sure nothing gets behind us, and we just make the rest of this game a mess. Let Tito run wild. Oh, man. I'm so glad he scored that, because I think that this will be his swan song in Atlanta. He has not really played much at all this second half of the season. And, man, I'm really glad he had a goal like that to go out on, because that was beautiful. Only, as you can see, only his second of the season. 4-0 against Arsenal. This is surely their biggest loss of the season. Chelsea's also winning 4-0. Newcastle couldn't do us any favors. Well, now we lost the clean sheet there, but oh no, it was offside. Wonderful. So we do get the 4-0 win. Beautiful. Beautiful. Holy cow, look at that. Man City won 7-0 on the last game of the season. Yeah, they were not going to let that one slip. So I guess it didn't really matter what Arsenal did because they were not going to, they would have needed to beat them out by 3 goals on goal diff to take the title. All right, so we have received £25.98 million for achieving 8th place in the English Premier Division. What a great look at that. The board is delighted with the top half finish, as they should be. Our first year in the Premier League, and we finished 8th. So that $25.98 million, that is just the prize money for coming 8th. That does not include the TV money we're going to get, which will be huge. It does not include gate receipts, all that stuff. We have a ton more revenues. That's just the prize money we get for that 8th place finish. So that's a nice bonus. The higher you get, it's probably a couple extra million than what we would have gotten for 9th and on down the line. So the higher you can place, the better it is. And I'm wondering if we'll get some more news about our transfer budget here. That's what I'm kind of waiting out for. Oh, buddy, here we go. The board have set the initial payroll for the upcoming season at £1.1 million per week, which is about what we're on right now, and £79.77 million. So we have basically an £80 million budget. Some of that will go into contracts. As you can see, this is $1.1 million. And what are we on now? I think we're right on that. Yeah, we're actually a little bit over that. So, but still, that's a ton of money for us to spend, and that does not include some of the sales we're going to make. Let's take a look at the squad. So, I can't imagine I'm going to be selling many of these players. This is the starting 11 we last used against Arsenal. Keaton Parks, we may not have, of course. He is on loan. I might sell Kipre. He's the one guy I could see myself potentially selling of this group. Mainly because I don't think anyone will come in for Shaparenko. If I were to get some amazing offer for him, I probably would sell him just because he hasn't been great this first season. Though he was coming along, and I do have hope for him in the second season. But I'd still probably part ways with him. But don't expect anything to come along. And kind of same with Leao. Like, wasn't great this season. Had a really spectacular first half of the year, to be perfectly honest. But just kind of cool, just kind of fizzled down the stretch. And he's kind of been like that ever since I've had him. He's gone through these like really hot and really cold streaks. Jonathan Gonzalez is a guy who he was a regular for us almost every single game until Diawara came in. And as you can see, he still started 30 games or made 30 appearances last year, 26 starts in the Premier League. And then he was playing all the time for us before that as well. Just a really good defensive midfielder. But, now we're getting to the point, if we have $80 million to spend, this is potentially a player we could upgrade. I still like Jonathan Gonzalez. I don't really actually plan on selling him. He is a perfect guy to have on the bench. Like, this is exactly the kind of player you want to have on your bench who you can bring in, just like how we were doing it down the end of the season. Bring him in late to kind of muddy things up. And it just, like, you can never really have enough, like, good, solid defensive central midfielders. Okay, so Yuri Medeiros. This is a guy, I was just looking at his kind of profile earlier because he has really played well for us. He's almost been purely a substitute for us, but he's been great. Always seems to cause damage when he comes on. And if we look at how much his value is, 18 million is his value. And look, we bought him for 1.9 million from Nuremberg, and he's really kind of a journeyman player. I had never heard of him. I'd be kind of surprised if many of you guys had probably heard of who he is. But if we can get 18 million for him, I will gladly do that. Same with Carvalho. We got Carvalho last year. He still has a high value. I don't think we spent that much on him. Yeah, only £5.5 million for him. And he never really performed, as you can see. We gave him 14 appearances. He was actually complaining that he hadn't been playing enough. And so I told him, I was like, okay, I'll start you for a month. And I started him like 6 games in a row, and he never did anything. So I could definitely see parting with him. This guy, Xavier Amici, he's got good stats, and this is not a guy that I signed, but look at his potential. He's still got 4 stars, and he's got this blacked out 5th star, so he could even go beyond the 4-star potential, and it's just a shame for him that I haven't really found a place to use him. I've typically, when I do need somebody in those wing positions off the bench, I will go to Medeiros, just because he's been more productive typically, or even Tito Villalba, just because I have more nostalgia with Tito. Tito's another guy I could definitely see us getting rid of, as I was talking about at the end of that last game. And Miles Robinson's a guy who I think we should probably get rid of. He's just not good enough. He has not progressed to the point where he's usable. We tried to use him a couple times, and it was just like a horror show, unfortunately. Frank Joseph, we will definitely keep. I hope to keep him as long as we play the save. I'll give him a new contract. And that will be that. I don't know how much he will actually start for us because, if we do really want to push on, there are better strikers in the game than this. But I definitely think that he'll be a player that can come off the bench for us, definitely be like the backup striker, and I think that he'll be totally happy in that role for us. I don't think he'll have any issues with that in this game. So, and then we just signed this guy, David Junca, who's been fine. He kind of got hurt. He missed some time, but he's been fine as a backup to Bello. So we could upgrade in the fullback positions. I really would like to also get another fullback because we don't really have a natural backup to Kyle Walker-Peters. We've been playing Franco Escobar there when Kyle Walker-Peters couldn't go, but to be honest, I played him almost every game. 32 appearances in the Premier League. Yeah, so typically would like to split those a little bit with 2 fullbacks, especially if we're looking beyond this season into like European competition where you just have more fixtures and you just need more bodies to rotate through those positions. So other than that, I think we're good. We're pretty much set in the attack, which is really nice. We don't really need a striker. We don't need a winger or an attacking midfielder. So I think we can really spend a lot of this money and really bolster the spine of our team, maybe get a center back, get another central midfielder to replace Parks. I think we can really, really give ourselves a good platform to push on next season. So I've got a bunch of guys scouted. I've been doing that since down the second half of the season. So I haven't made any moves yet, obviously, because I didn't have a transfer budget. So I will update you guys in the next video on who we buy, and I'll probably be doing some videos a little bit more often than I initially planned. I initially was going to do videos kind of at the beginning of a season, at the end of the midway point, or at the end of the winter transfer window, kind of at the midway point of the season, and then at the end of the season here. But we got this coronavirus hiatus, and I got enough time, and it would give me something to do to put out more just videos for you guys. And I kind of like getting through stuff off of the stream, so I can just pump more videos out. So anticipate that more YouTube videos. I probably won't do as much on Twitch, but I'll still get on there from time to time. So make sure you check that out. Follow us on Dirty South Soccer on both channels, YouTube and Twitch. And of course, we'll post these on the website as well. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys when we sign some players.